solve. Show all your math steps here. So for this equation, we have 25n plus 6 plus 4n equals 3 times 10n plus 2. So whenever I have equations like this, there's multiple things I can kind of start with here. So I'm going to first distribute 3 to 10n plus 2 on the right. And that's going to give me 30n plus 6. And while I do that, I can also combine like terms. So I can also say I can combine like terms on the left. So when I say combine like terms, that means I'm looking for things that have the same variable or are only numbers. So here I have 25n and 4n, and I can combine that. 25n plus 4n gives me 29n. 6 doesn't have anything it can be combined with on the left, so it's going to stay 6. Okay. Now I'm going to try to move all my variables to one side. Let's say next I subtract 29n on both sides. Minus 29n here and minus 29n here. I can only do it to the, when I add and subtract on both sides, I can only do it with like terms. So these are gonna go away and give us 0. 30 minus 29 is 1. So I have 1n plus 6 here. We're almost there because this n is basically alone with this 1 in front. So the last thing we're gonna do finally subtract 6 on both sides. Minus 6 minus 6. So normally when we see opposites, we do cross them out, but we want to recognize like what's left when I do that. So on this side, I do still have 1n, or I could just say n. But on this side, I can't just write that I have nothing, because if there is nothing here, I do want to write it. Because here we did have n left, and there is actually an invisible number here when these canceled out. And it is this big circle that I drew, which is 0. So we can say our solution is 0. Okay. Now on the other side here, we do want to check our solution. That just means we're going to copy this down on the other side here, but instead of anywhere where I have n, I'm going to put my solution that I got 0 just to double check that it works. So I'm just going to copy down the equation on this side here, but instead of writing my variable, I'm just going to leave parentheses. And then equals 3 parentheses 10n plus 2. And then we got n equals 0, so everywhere where I put those parentheses, I'm going to put 0. And now we're just going to follow order of operations as I simplify this. So for order of operations, the first thing I want to do is look inside parentheses. I can't really simplify that more. I can't really simplify that more, but I can simplify that. So let's write 25 times 0 plus 6 plus 4 times 0. And then here I have 10 times 0 plus 2. So inside the parentheses, I have multiplication. I'm going to multiply first before I add. So that's 10 times 0, which is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. So all parentheses that we have are simplified as much as possible now. So now we want to, so when I think PEMDAS, I've already done all the parentheses. There are no exponents. The next thing is multiplication. So that's these guys. 25 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. There's no division. There is addition. So now I'm going to do addition. 0 plus 6 plus 0 is 6. And this is still 6, so this is true, which means this solution is correct. If I get something that's false, like 5 equals 6 or something like that, or negative 6 equals 6, then it probably means there's something wrong with this number.